Hey, Composing Gloves here, and this is a critical listening exercise. Now, it's near the beginning of this series because if I don't care if you're an expert, the best listener ever, or you're a brand new novice, you should be doing this. You should be doing it every day if you want to work on your listening. If you want to develop really clean listening skills, you should be doing this every day. And the secret is what we're going to be doing too is listening to noise. We're going to be taking parts of the spectrum and associating them with our ears. When you do this, you're going to be way more effective at mixing, way more effective at hearing. You'll just be better as an all-around producer and engineer, like mega useful skill. So what is the exercise? Well, I'm going to be using 2 free plugins, so you can do this in any DAW. The first plugin is called MDA Test Tone. It's a noise generating plugin. You can get it here. So I'll put a link in the description, but they're available for Mac and for VST, so Windows. And they do have group downloads because they make a whole bunch of plugins you can download if that's something you want to get. A whole load of plugins. Some of you guys may have better stuff than some of the things offered here, but they are really, really cool. And they also come in AU, so very nifty type deal, except for like the list is shorter here. So I haven't looked at this in detail. I came here for the noise generating plugin. So we're going to load up one of those. So I'm going to go to my channel slot. I'm going to go to MDA Test Tone. And here it's a noise generator. Thankfully, it starts off, which is super nice. Now, we're going to be listening to noise. So I'm going to turn it down because I'll be talking over it, and it is kind of loud. So I expect you to know the 2 different types of noise because you've watched my Sound and Synth Basics series. And I may throw up roadblocks every now and then for you people who haven't, because that's really like must-know knowledge. So if you can't answer or don't understand some of the stuff I'm referencing, and then I say, hey, it's covered in Sound and Synth Basics, go watch that series. It's very important that you understand that stuff as you move on here. Your growth will make way more, it'll just, first of all, it'll be way more structured to make a lot more sense, and you'll do it faster because you'll have built concepts up. So I expect you to know the difference between pink noise and white noise, equal energy per octave versus equal energy per frequency. So here, what we're going to do is I'm going to use pink noise for the listening, but I suggest you do both. They will both come in handy. The nice thing about pink noise is it'll bring up the low end for you, and so you can practice listening to that more. So in this example, I'm going to set it to pink, and you simply just turn it to set the mode. So I'm going to turn it off for now, which is, man, I just love that, how it starts off. Some noise generators don't do that. And you can set your level and do different things here. I'm not really going to talk about any of the other things here. Maybe one day we'll get into them, but for now, we're going to leave that. And then the other one you're going to use, and this is an amazing tool specifically for this. It's called TDR Nova. Now, when I say specifically for this, I mean, this is like awesome. This is awesome for like a whole load of other things. But for right now, we're going to be using it for something that it also happens to excel at. So this is available. I have a free VST video on it. So go check out my free VSTs or just look up TDR Nova in my channel and you will come across it with a free link to it, and go check out other stuff they make. They are amazing. And what you do is we're going to turn off the bands. It's a dynamic equalizer. I'm not even going to talk about that right now. We'll approach this stuff later. So for the exercise though, turn the bands off, turn the EQ compensation, the EQ gain off. What it does is something that we'll talk about again later, other stuff, but this is extra important that you have that off for this to work properly. Now, what's cool about this plugin, it's got a high pass and a low pass. So we're going to turn those on and turn it on to 72 dB per octave. So that's a pretty steep slope. So it's just chopping crap off where we tell it to chop it off. Now, what's nice about this is you can see the frequencies that you're selecting for your high pass and your low pass. And another nice thing is your low pass can be below your high pass, which if you don't know, some plugins don't let you do that. So it's just really nice plugin for a whole load of reasons. So we're going to also turn our analyzer on, and we're going to view the output, simply because I want to see what's coming out. I want to see what my filters are doing to the sound. And we'll talk about EQs and all that stuff later. Right now, this is just a basic beginner's exercise. So don't be overwhelmed by all the buttons and stuff. Just set it up like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our noise generator. I'm going to detach this so that it's floating on my window. And I'm going to detach this for the same reason. And we're at pink. So we have pink noise here. Now your job is really a really simple exercise, mega simple, but the payouts are enormous. Like when I started doing this, it was just life-changing as far as my ability to mix went. So mine is down, but you'll be listening to it louder. Be careful about how loud you listen to it, and we'll talk more about that later as well. But you can see that this plugin this plugin goes from 10 hertz to 40 kilohertz. So this covers more than enough room. So you can see outside your spectrum. Another nice feature about it. Again, and this is free. Like, that's what's so crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on, and we're going to use this to isolate specific packets of frequency. And all you do, just do this for like 15 minutes every day. And it's kind of fun too. Is all you do is you just listen and you say, that is what. So let's do one real quick. So we're going to do 20 hertz to 90 hertz, or let's do 100. You're going to want to standardize what you do listen to a little bit. So we'll do 100. I'll be like, this is what 20 hertz to 100 hertz sounds like. And I'll turn it up now. So you listen, you're like, oh, it sounds kind of like a cave or something. And you just sit there and you observe things. You say how loud it is. You see what it sounds like. Then you might do white noise to get a different take. And so that's what white noise sounds like. Eventually, at the end, you want to start doing this with sounds, and you want to start dropping in samples and listening to samples and stuff like guitars, vocals, anything you can find. But the beginning, you have to start with a bass. And the reason noise is so great is noise has all the frequencies. So you will be able to pick these things out. If you use samples right off the bat, you're going to get thrown off by the fact that it doesn't represent all frequencies. So it'll be a little tougher to learn. So this is a lot easier, a better basic exercise to do is with noise. And so I'm going to go back to pink. You may also consider using the different waveforms. So again, we know that the difference why these are louder is for the reasons we stated before. So now I'm like, oh, now I want to hear like down to 50 hertz. And now you will need to know the limitations of your speakers or headphones as far as reproduction is concerned. Because even though it may be outputting, your hardware itself may not be able to produce those frequencies. So make sure you check that. If you don't know, then try looking up the specs on your gear. Don't ask me, man. It's not my gear. It's your gear. Just go look it up. So I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go up and I'm going to hear what it sounds like up to 200 hertz. And I'm like, oh, okay. And you just sit here, you just listen. It's kind of relaxing. And then you do up, we'll do up to 100 now, 100 to 200. Oh. Then we'll go up more. You just listen, you just say, this is what 100 to approximately 500 hertz sort of sounds like. And you do some more listening. 100 to about, let's go 2K, 2 kilohertz. We'll bring it up to 500. And we say, oh wow, the rumble goes away quite fast. Now you know why they say rumble exists down there. It's very rumbly down there. I go, okay. And then remember, you also say, this is what even pink noise, even frequency, even energy per octave sounds like. You're like, all right, all right, all right. And then you just do this. You just do all the way up 20K. Oh, it won't let you go up past 10K. That's an interesting deal. It says 40K right here. So. Oh, the low pass will let you get to it. The high pass won't. Okay, so that's something you need to know about. We're like, oh, this is what 7 to 12K sounds like. We'll go up to 15. Yeah, I won't let you go past 10K. So you can hear what that upper end is 20K. Without 20K, you go down. So that's what you do. So you do white noise. And you'll start noticing things, and then you'll start noticing things like certain areas are louder, certain areas sound a certain way, and particular kinds of noise. And you'll notice that you're kind of more sensitive when you keep your volume at the same level. Don't be changing your volume while you do this. You'll mess yourself up later on when you want to observe contours and stuff. So be careful about the volume levels you monitor at. Make sure they're consistent and make sure they're not super loud. You don't want them too loud. You'll damage your hearing. So you do that for 15 minutes every day. When you feel ready, you should start dropping in things. Like start dropping in like, what is this on channel 1? So you start dropping in stuff. And running it through a loop. So I'm going to put this on, whoops, what did I just do? I put it on channel 5. I want it on channel 1. And then you start looping it and you start observing, you start filtering with that. and you start saying, oh, this is what that sounds like. Oh, and there's a problem because test tone is in the way. So yeah, make sure your test tone's not in the way when you do this. But now you listen, you go, and you do the same exact thing.
The things I see. Do you believe what I believe? Do you see the things I see? Do you believe?
And you notice like, whoa, the voice right there. And you'll begin to build up this library, like this incredible sound library. Do this for 15 minutes every day. I know I keep saying it, but please do it. Like, you will get enormous payoffs from this. So useful. So you do this. Maybe you set up a session, you save it, and you save it as like listening practice session, and you set an alarm every day to listen to this. You do that every day, you're going to get amazing. Other things I suggest doing with this besides samples, you'll start picking out things about good recordings and bad recordings too as you do this with more and more things. Do it to drums, vocals, synths, guitars, anything you get your hands on, full mixes, parts of mixes, but do the noise. Do the noise every day. Make sure you do noise. It's going to be your basis as you do it. If you don't do the noise, you're going to be missing sort of a basic grasp. Like, you'll still develop something, but the noise will just give you such a good backbone. Like, it's a great place to start. You may also consider other basic starting points like the sine, saw, square, and pulse wave. So just break out a synth and start making those. And they also are available in the test tone. So you could go through here. White. Oh, I guess they're not. They just have the sine wave. And they have some interesting, they have filters on here too. Oh, never mind. We're not going to talk about that. So break out a synthesizer. Break out, like, if you own FL, break out Citrus and just go through the basic waveforms there. If you do break out Citrus real quick, or if you do break out your synth, a word of caution to you who are new at listening, you should watch out for, and this covered my Sound Synth Basics video on bandwidth 11.1. So the one before bandwidth 12. Make sure your oversampling is on when you do these listening exercises. And then you can even experiment with it being off, but this is covered in digital audio basics, which you should also know about. So shouldn't be a shocker either. But make sure you turn this up, like, go all the way. You're not going to be doing anything else. And then, go through different waveforms. Go square, saw, triangle, and listen to them and filter them and learn what they sound like, and then do synths and, just build up a library. So if you do this every day, I can tell you, you'll be so good at, like, you'll just feel like when you listen, it'll be weird. It's like you're seeing an old friend when you're doing stuff. And when something weird pops up, you're like, oh, that freaking 2.5K is like giving me the finger. And you go in there and you give him the finger back and take him down or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if you have any questions about this, let me know. If you start experiencing cool results, drop them in the comments. Encourage other people. Let them know how great this was for you. This will really, first of all, it'll help new people see that this is a legitimate way to get way better, way faster. I kid you not. So many, like, almost no one does this, and it's so helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day.